What's up, Tailgaters? You're in the booth with Tailgate Nate today. Welcome to my channel. Week 6 predictions continuing into today, and we should have a fun one here in Columbia, Missouri. Tiger on Tiger crime as LSU is going to get to go up against Missouri. A top 25 matchup in the SEC. Should be a very fun, entertaining one to watch. But before we can dive in, preview and predict this game, you guys know I got some business I got to take care of first. I just want to thank you guys so much for the support the channel has seen as of late. You guys have no idea. It means so much to me. Continue to show your support for the channel. Hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you know when videos get uploaded. But hey, there are more ways than that to help me support this channel. You guys are doing one of them right now just by watching this very video. And you guys can absolutely do a lot more of them by liking, commenting, sharing, and anything else you guys are willing and or able to do to help me support this channel. With the LSU Tigers and Missouri Tigers, let's dive in now, previewing and predicting this matchup. And I gotta say, first off and foremost, I am sorry, Tiger fans. I'm talking to the Missouri Tigers out there. You guys have already matched the win total that I predicted for you. Severely underestimated this team. It's amazing what Brady Cook, Luther Burden, and this Missouri Tiger team have been able to do so far this year. And it looks like that's going to continue for the rest of this season for the LSU Tigers. Well, the offense is clicking, but the defense has some work to do, and we're going to talk about all of that here right now. When we talk about the 23rd ranked LSU Tigers, there were a lot of quarrels that LSU should not be ranked right now, but when you take a look at the talent that is on this LSU team, they're still really, really good offensively. They have the talent defensively, and their 2 losses are the 2 teams ranked inside of the top 15. So still has not been too shabby of a year overall for the LSU Tigers, although given what preseason expectations were, definitely is going to be a little bit of a disappointing year, it seems like, for Brian Kelly's Tigers. Nonetheless, this is a team that has one of the best offenses, not only in the SEC, but in the entire country. I believe they are top 10 in points per game. I believe they're top 10 in yards per game there as well. And they do a really nice job there of converting third down percentages. That has to be one of the highest marks in the country there. And they do a good job of holding on to the football. So when you take a look at this team, Jaden Daniels, playing at a very, very high level. 1,710 yards. I believe he's top 3, top 5 at least in the nation in passing. 16 touchdowns, 2 picks. Doing it on 73% completion percentage. The run game has been there as well. Not only with Daniels being able to use his legs, but Logan Diggs has been really, really good for them. 354 yards, 6.2 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns there. What I'm trying to say about this offense, it's clicking on all cylinders. The one thing you'd like to see is maybe the offensive line improve a little bit. Now, these sack numbers are down a lot from when I talked about LSU in the previous week. I'm not sure what sort of changed, but maybe I was looking at the wrong stat line there, but the offensive line's only allowed 12 sacks this year as compared to what I say, maybe 15 in the last video there. Yeah, so not exactly sure what changed there, but 12 sacks allowed by this offensive line. Still 2.4 per game. Got to work on that a little bit. Defensively, though, it's been a struggle for the LSU Tigers. They made, and I should say the Ole Miss offense is very, very good, but it just looked like LSU made a business decision to not tackle in that game at all, and that's kind of plagued LSU here over the past couple of games, or I should say in some of the games they have played so far this year. They really struggled against the Arkansas Razorbacks attack, and we know that Arkansas is looking to have some problems there on both sides of the ball, and this was an LSU defense that just full-on collapsed in the second half, if not fourth quarter, in the first game of the season against Florida State. Now, albeit that was the first game of the year, but the pattern has continued so far into this season. They're not really forcing that many turnovers. They're not getting that much pressure back to opposing quarterbacks. Only 9 sacks on the year compared to 21, I think, was the one number that I was looking at last week. Again, not sure what changed. Maybe I was looking at the wrong stat line. I'll take blame for that. But they're allowing over 400 yards per game. Now, fairly solid job of keeping teams from scoring. But again, last week against Ole Miss was really, really bad. And it's absolute cause for this defense to just tighten its chin straps, because this is a Missouri offense with Brady Cook, with Luther Burden, that have done absolutely phenomenally so far this season. Brady Cook is playing with his hair on fire. 1,468 yards, 11 touchdowns, no picks, and 74 84.5% completion percentage. His best weapon in Luther Burden is looking like the star wide receiver that Missouri thought he was going to be. 644 yards, 15 yards per catch, and 5 touchdowns for Luther Burden so far on the season. And it doesn't end there with the wide receiver room. Theo Weiss, Mookie Cooper, and so many other weapons here in this wide receiver room. The rush game is doing its part there as well as Schrader, that running back, 463 yards, 5.7 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. It's a Missouri offense that is really humming. Yeah, you'd maybe like to see the offensive line do a little bit better, but they're doing a good job of they're doing a good job of hanging on to the football here. Only 3 turnovers on the year, and again, all 3 of those are fumbles, as there have been no interceptions thrown by Brady Cook yet so far this year. My apologies. Horn, when he did come into play, threw a pick. So 1 pick by Sam Horn, 2 fumbles, but turnovers haven't really been a problem when Brady Cook is under center. Now, when you take a look at this Missouri Tiger defense, there are a lot of nice things to like about what we've seen out of Missouri's defense so far this year. You have a lot of guys getting involved in the tackling department, specifically in that defensive back 7. Tyron Harper is going to be that leading tackler for you guys. 27 tackles, 20 of them by his lonesome. You've got a lot of stellar players in the defensive background, most notably in Chris Abrams-Drain. He's got 6 pass defended, 3 interceptions, and 23 tackles already on the young season. But this team is not forcing turnovers that much. It's not generating a whole lot of pressure to opposing quarterbacks. However, they do have a lot of sacks so far this year, 13 sacks, 2.6 sacks per game. That is their mark on the young season. And the rush defense has been fantastic so far. But what's really going to cause hurt for Missouri in this game, if they can't defend the pass, again, Jaden Daniels, this group of wide receivers that we know, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, among many, many others, are definitely going to give this Tiger defense a cause for concern. Talking about the Missouri Tiger defense, which leads me into the keys for the game, what to watch for, just some things I think you should keep an eye on when you are tuning into this one. And I've talked about it before here, so I'm not going to linger on it too much, but Daniels and the offense are red hot. Whether it's Jaden Daniels rushing the ball, throwing the ball, whether it's this rushing attack led by Logan Diggs, or whether that's wide receiving room led by Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas going up and making plays, this Missouri Tiger defense is going to have a really, really hard time slowing down whatever Jaden Daniels is able to do. But can the LSU Tiger defense slow down what Missouri is able to do? The defense is going to need to tighten their chin straps and get something figured out here, because we'll talk about it in a little bit. But Brady Cook, Luther Burden, and company are huge threats, and they can make some really, really big plays. This is an LSU defense that has to buckle down and has to play well. But one thing that the LSU Tigers have in their favor is that the Tigers will control third down. And again, I already mentioned there, the LSU Tigers will control third down. One of the best third down offenses in the entire country. And while the defense definitely can improve third down as well, the defense, I think, will do enough on third down to be able to get some stops here against this Missouri Tiger offense that I just mentioned it, as now we dive into what to watch for with the Missouri Tigers. Brady Cook and Luther Burden. That quarterback to wide receiver connection has been one of the best in the country so far this year. Again, Brady Cook, a very, very underrated quarterback compared to what he's put up now, compared to expectations coming into this season. And again, I already mentioned Luther Burden being the star wide receiver that every Missouri Tiger fan thought he was going to be. But again, I mentioned a lot of other names there as well. This is an offense that doesn't revolve around just those two. Yes, while it highlights the offense, there's a lot more playmakers on this offense. And with the way that this LSU defense has really struggled, it's going to make this defense work. It has to make this defense work. Which LSU defense are we going to get? Are we going to get the one against Mississippi State, or are we going to get the one against Ole Miss? That we'll kind of have to wait and see here, but it's been more of a constant as of late for LSU's defense to really struggle. But Brady Cook, Luther Burden, and company probably are going to have to put up at least 40 points, maybe at least 35, in order to be able to win this game, just because of what LSU is doing on the offensive end. Now, if Missouri wants to make this more of a low-scoring affair, where they're going to have their hands full, right? Dealing with Daniels, dealing with a lot of these playmakers, you have to contain Daniels. Again, force pressure through the LSU offensive line, get Daniels down on the ground as soon as possible. And again, the offense is going to have to keep up with this offense as well. But if Missouri's going to want to come out here and win this game, they haven't really done so so far throughout the year. But you got to be able to win the turnover battle, force takeaways, and generate negative plays. They've been able to do that. They've been able to generate negative plays. But I think in order for Missouri to win this game, you have to force the extra turnover. You have to create the extra possession for your offense. And just with the way that the LSU Tigers have performed offensively so far this season. Again, they're not turning the football over either. I don't think that Missouri's going to be able to get the extra possession that they need. I think, again, you see the spread here, 6.5 for LSU as of recording this video. I really do like Missouri to cover that, make this one very competitive, but the LSU Tiger offense is just running really, really hot right now. And yes, the defense has not provided up to standard. However, I believe that the LSU Tigers will do enough offensively to be able to win this game here as LSU goes on the road, gets a big-time win against Missouri, handing them their first loss on the year. Let me know your thoughts on this game in the comment section below. And hey, as always, remember to play hard but tailgate harder. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.